In the final video for Module 1, we'll now talk about the different course modules that you'll see for the rest of the online course. Module 1 is the one we're just finishing up right now, the Introduction, Orientation, and Overview. Module 2 is called Redefining Your Workflow, and this is where I'll get into the nuts and bolts of the new approach that you'll have to take to online classes and the mindset you'll need to develop and how it might differ from the mindset you're used to employing with traditional classroom learning. Module 3 will get into the tools to ace your online class. These are the practical, tangible things that you're going to need, the things that I strongly recommend, as well as the things that I find to be non-negotiable. And we'll talk about sort of the reasoning why these are important and how they relate to your workflow and your mindset. Next, we'll get into the learning management system and syllabus. So if you remember from the last video, I talked about you'll use a login and password to access a school website. That website that you log into to access the content is called your learning management system. So we'll get into all of that as well as the syllabus and how to dissect that. Module 5 will talk about email and your instructor. Email being the primary way to communicate both with your instructor as well as with your fellow classmates. And I'll also give a little bit of insight into your instructor. Being that I am an online instructor myself, I have a little bit of perspective there. Module 6, forums and your classmates. Here I'll talk about one of the major ways that you will be evaluated when it comes to quote-unquote classroom participation, and that is done in an online class through discussion forums. I'll also talk here about your classmates and how to kind of begin to feel a little bit more connected to them. Module 7, Mastering the Content and Note-Taking. The content being just the stuff you have to learn, in order to get a good grade in the class. I'll share my thoughts on the best way to learn that content, memorize it, whatever you need to do in order to be successful in your online class. I find note-taking to be one of the critical elements for mastering content, and I'll do a bunch of different strategies related to note-taking. Module 8, pretty straightforward. We'll go into online testing, how we do online testing in an online class, and different types of testing questions that you can expect to see. Module 9, I'll get into papers, group work, and projects, spend a little bit of time on each of those and how they might differ from what you're expected to do in a traditional classroom. Lastly, Module 10, what happens if you struggle? This module is devoted to different resources that might be available to you, as well as some different strategies you might want to employ if you do find yourself falling behind or needing to take more drastic actions, how to talk with your professor. Can't wait to get into Module 2, guys, so if you want to join me, let's get going.